So the big question is, how do health experts like you and I generate more income, impact more people, and create businesses that work around their lifestyle and serve their family at the highest possible level? If you want the answer to that question, then you're in the right place at the right time. Whether you're a dietitian, a nutritionist, or a nutrition coach, this is for you. My name is Dr. Javier Carlin, and I want to welcome you to the Practice Revolution. We are a movement that is revolutionizing the way private practices are built so you can practice on your terms. So go ahead and join us and follow along as we learn, apply, and share the top business growth strategies that we're using to grow our own business and to help you grow yours, using only the best insights and advice from top industry leaders. So thank you so much for listening. Enjoy the show.
Welcome everyone. Just so you guys know, my name's Kaylee and I'm a registered dietitian, nutritionist, and head coach here at the Practice Revolution, where we help dietitians and nutrition coaches replace their income, break free of their JOB, get to the point where they're making 5 to 10K and beyond in their business. So if that's you, you're in the right place at the right time. So I'm excited to be here with you guys tonight. Thank you again, Deb, for being here, and everyone who's watching, give Deb a warm welcome. So Deb is a current student in our Freedom Sprint program, and she's been absolutely crushing it so far. But of course, we all start from somewhere. So tonight, Deb's going to be sharing some insights that she's learned since starting her business, and hopefully inspire some of you guys to dream big. So Deb, for starters, why don't you go ahead and just kind of tell us a little bit of your background? How long have you been a dietitian? What setting do you work in? Just kind of start with your background a little bit.
Sure. So I became a dietitian in 2008, which feels like a forever ago. And I wasn't working before I started my business. I took a big sabbatical. I finished my master's and I didn't want to work or see clients while I was doing that because, I can only handle so much at once. And so once I finished that, I decided I'm going to launch my own business. It's time. I'm ready. Let's do it. And I found this program, which is exactly what I needed to give me the confidence and support to get started. And yeah, here I am.
That's awesome. Well, we're so happy that you're here too. So yeah, that's really cool. So how long have you been wanting to start your own business? Is this something that you wanted to do while you were in your master's program?
Yeah, I've been thinking about it while I was in my master's program. And there are people in the program that are working, seeing clients, some working full time, but I have 4 kids and I just knew I couldn't do both at the same time. So as soon as people were asking me, in my community, when are you going to see patients? When are you going to start, working? I'm like, not till I'm graduating. So it was coming. I knew it was coming. And yeah, feels good to finally be doing it.
Yeah. Wow. 4 kids. What ages?
So my youngest, I have twins. They're 4.5. Then I have an 8.5-year-old and an 11.5-year-old.
Oh my gosh. So you're busy. That's like a full-time job in and of itself.
It is. Yeah. Full-time mom.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Well, that's really awesome that you went this route and decided to start your business while being a busy mom of 4. So what were some of your initial steps when it came to getting your business started?
So all the technical stuff, finding out if the name you want for your business is taken and registering it. I'm in Florida, so registering it here, setting up a bank account, all those things. I hired someone to do a website for me and branding for me. And then at the point where I'm like, what do I charge? And how do I get clients? And what do I do? And do I have to do social media? All those questions popped up, and that's when I found you guys. But before that, yeah, I was doing the things that you had to do. I was checking the things off the list.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's a lot of things too, that when it comes to those initial, the very first steps too, there's a lot of confusion as to what to do. How do I get my LLC? How do I get my website? Do I need a website? Do I need to hire someone for branding? And these are very common questions that people have as they first get started. And so, the fact that you just kind of dove in, did it anyways, said, you know what, I'm going to figure out these questions as they come. I think that, really, really sets people apart too. Cause some people let those questions kind of overwhelm them and they stop and they don't take any progress. And so the fact that you were able to continue to see that through and say, you know what, yes, I have questions, but I know that I'm going to find a way to get them answered. And then once you came up on the bigger questions, like, okay, well, how do I actually get clients? You sought out some additional support to really help you get there and get there even faster too. So I think that's a really cool part of your story there. So for you, Deb, what population do you primarily work with right now?
So primarily, I am the person people see when their doctor can't help them. I'm like, I need to tweak my niche a little bit, because at first it was autoimmune, and then you're like, you got to hone down on like language people understand. I'm like, all right, so like fatigue and joint pain and like stomach issues and all that stuff. And I'm like, all right, these are people who are seeing like 4 and 5 doctors and they're getting nowhere and they're getting no answers. Like, those are my people.
Yeah. And that's a really good, you know how everyone talks about like an elevator pitch. So I heard this from Eli Wild, who is, he was one of Tony Robbins' top salespeople. And, one of the things that he talks about, when it comes to describing who you help and what you do, it's almost exactly how you said it, how you said to me, Deb, like, well, you know how when people go to the doctor and they've been to 5 different doctors and they don't know, they don't know what's going on. Well, that's where I come in and that's where I help them. And so that's like the perfect elevator pitch too, whether you know it or not. So that's a really good way to actually describe who you help by letting people know. Because now, there's going to be people who are listening to this right now thinking, oh my gosh, yeah, I know someone, my brother or my friend has seen 5 doctors and, they're not getting the help that they need and they don't know what's going on. And maybe it is nutrition. And so it helps them like start to think of like, is it me? Is it someone I know? So yeah, you just kind of, you taught everyone real quick there. So thanks for that. But how did you decide? Cause I know you and I have kind of bounced around some different niches, but how did you decide to, for the time being, to land on this particular population?
So I have an autoimmune disease myself that I was diagnosed with, which is why I went back to school to get my master's in functional medicine. And everything I've learned, I feel like you're not taught in traditional school to become an RD, nor are doctors taught it when they're in medical school or residency or anything like that. But it's so life-changing and it's so helpful. And now that I've started seeing clients and I'm getting, they're getting results, I should say, it's so rewarding because you're really changing these people's lives for the better who otherwise have given up like hope, like they feel like they're never going to get better. And then you can give them that, you can help them achieve that. So I feel like it's such a gift, and it makes it like every day I get up, I'm excited to do it.
Yeah. And that's,
I just wish I could do it more. Like, yeah, I mean, I can only do like so much work, being a Miss Mom before, but like one day I'll be able to see even more people.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the goal, right? Yeah, that's so good. And yeah, I love that you said too that, you get excited when you wake up to do what you're doing because you're able to see the impact that you're having on people and the change that people are getting and the relief that they're finally feeling. Because, there is so much in the world of modern medicine, right? And of course, there is definitely a place for that. We all know that as dietitians, nutrition coaches, of course, there's a place for that. But oftentimes the nutrition as the foundation is overlooked. And so, for us to come in and to be able to show someone like it really does start with what you're putting into your body and what you're eating and how that can have a big impact on the outcomes that you're getting. It's just mind-blowing for them, but then it is for us too, because it shows how much value we have in this world and how much of a change that we can really make for people. So I think that's so good. Now, of course, I know that you're a little bit newer into your business, right? You're a few months in, like full-time, like going all in on it. But I'm sure, even with starting, you may have had some some thoughts come through your head of like, maybe you weren't feeling ready. So did you ever struggle with, like your mindset or not feeling ready to start your business?
Yeah, I definitely struggle with mindset. It's gotten a lot better, in this program for sure. But I have like up and down days. And in fact, when you asked me to do this interview, I was like, can I do it like once I'm successful? Like, can I wait and do it like once I meet this goal? And like, what are you talking about? And I guess we're our own worst critics. So we're always going to be the hardest on ourselves, which is good because it keeps us going forward and reaching new goals. But yeah, I mean, that's definitely something I deal with still.
Yeah. And I think that's totally normal, right? We definitely all feel that way of like, well, I'll do this when, or I'll do that when. And so, it's that whole like done is better than perfect idea and just going for it. Now for you, Deb, what did you do to kind of work through some of these mindsets that came up for you?
So definitely like working through the program helped a lot, and realizing the value that I give to the clients that I serve and how it changes their life and how that trickle effect impacts them in so many ways. And then that book that Javi Marissa sent was awesome. Jen Sincero, I think, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that was awesome. So that really, I just took a lot out of that, and I'm like, yes, like, I have her voice in my head. So
that's good. And mindset's one of those things, of course, that we keep working on day after day. Like it's one of those things that like, you're never like done. Like you never get to check it off the list, much like our health, right? Like we teach people, like you never get to just check off the list, like, oh, I'm healthy, and so I don't have to work on this anymore. Time to go back to pizza and wings. Like it's something that we work on every single day. Yeah. And so mindset is very much the same way. And so, I think, like you said, reading the book and having these resources to really help you through that really makes a big difference in the long run, for sure. Now, when it comes to the feeling of fear around maybe getting your business started, like those initial first phases of like, oh my gosh, am I ready to start my business? Did you ever feel fear around getting started?
Totally. Yeah. I mean, I was scared to put my first post up, and then I got my first client from it,
Mm-hmm.
And even I was nervous doing like the first task, going live in the group. But yeah, anytime you do something new, or anytime you're putting something out there, there's always that little part of you that's like, it's not good enough. What if someone says something,
Yeah.
Even when I had a client call me, it was a doctor. He said, this is Dr. So-and-so left me a message. And I'm like, uh-oh, did I see one of his patients? Is he not happy with advice I gave them? Why is he calling? And I call him back, and he was looking for help with his nutrition, and he became a client.
Yeah.
So
crazy. Yeah. It's crazy how you go from like those feelings of fear of, especially doing those new things, kind of pushing out of your comfort zone. But look at you now. I mean, look at you now. So it pays off. It's just like working any muscle, the more you push a little bit out of your comfort zone, the stronger that you get because of it. And so for you, when it came to that feeling of fear, how did you handle it?
how did I handle it? I felt like I was like a little kid jumping into the deep end. Like I knew how to swim, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I just had to jump in.
Yeah.
I just did it. Like I just was like, I'm not thinking about it. I just am going to do it. Like it's one step in front of the other, and that's it.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. And I think that's advice that a lot of people watching this can take away of like, you know what, if you know how to swim, and guess what, if you don't know, you're going to figure it out, and you're going to figure it out quickly, because it's sink or swim, and so sometimes you just have to dive in and just go for it, because what's the worst that's going to happen? The world isn't going to explode. It's just going out and putting yourself out there. So I think that's really, really helpful. So for you, Deb, what social media channel has been the most beneficial for you? Has it been like Facebook, Instagram? Like what have you primarily used?
So I started out just with Facebook, and that's been where I think I've been most successful. I don't have a huge following yet. But Instagram, I like hardly ever used before. So I have a very small following, but I'm like, I'm just going to start posting on there too. Why not? but definitely more Facebook. I've had people reach out to me, from the community that I know, to work with me. So I think it's good. I think it also just like posting things just has, I guess, puts you in people's minds when they think like, oh, someone needs a dietitian or someone's not feeling well, or they're talking to someone like you were saying earlier, like, oh, I know someone for that. Mm-hmm. So even if this person that is seeing it doesn't necessarily need my help, they might know someone who does.
Yeah, absolutely. It's staying top of mind, like you said, staying top of mind, being present, because this is something that Javi and Marissa said to me very early on in my journey too. They said, hey, Kaylee, like if you're present, if you're there for people and you show them that you show up every day, then they're going to see that, and they're going to know that when they're a client of yours, you're going to show up for them every day, and you're not going to be someone that's going to ghost them. Right. And so, it just by us being consistent on social media and just showing up every day, it shows our character more than anything. And you know what, in the beginning, like our posts aren't going to be perfect, but again, it's that whole like jump in, get started, done is better than perfect. And we'll eventually learn our way through it too. And of course, with guidance, with help, you get there much, much faster. So for you, Deb, what are some things that you've been able to accomplish so far using social media? I know you mentioned you had already gotten a client just from your very first Facebook post, but what are some things that you've been able to accomplish using social media so far?
So, I've had people tell me like, oh, I love your reel. Like, it's funny because people don't like them or comment on them, but they'll be like, oh, I love what you're posting. Thanks for posting it. You're doing so great. And I'm like, thanks, like it next time. Someone asked me if I hired someone to do my social media. And I was like, that is the nicest thing anyone said to me like this week. Thank you. No, that's just me. So I don't know, like, what was the original question? What did I gain from
Yeah. What have you been able to accomplish so far?
Yeah. I think definitely just getting my name out there in the community. People definitely know what I'm doing. They know who to come to, and I have gotten a couple clients from it. So worth it.
Totally worth it. Yeah. Who knew something as simple as doing a Facebook post can get you clients, right? It's really cool when you're able to see that and get the benefits from that, and really, again, like help people, change lives. Like these are people who are looking for help. And so, that's really awesome. So, Deb, if you don't mind sharing, how many clients are you working with now?
I just signed up my 9th client.
Oh my gosh, 9! Wow, congrats. And you've been doing this for how long now?
I started January 1st.
Yeah, okay. That's what I thought. So 9 clients since January 1st. For anyone who's watching this, maybe as the replay, we're at the beginning of March right now. So it's been just a little over 2 months now, and you've already got 9 clients. That's absolutely amazing. And so for you, how does it feel to be helping people and working with people on your own terms?
Oh, it's the best feeling. I love it. It's so different than when you're working for a boss or you have to follow something. There's harder things too, because you have to figure out like, okay, what form am I using and what EMR am I using? And there's all those questions. But once you figure that out, it's just you. Like you're the one calling the shots, and you can just do whatever's best for your client, not worry about someone looking over your shoulder and telling you can't do this, or you have to check these boxes. It's your show.
Yeah. And I really like that you said you're doing what's best for your clients. I think that's so good. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Awesome. And so, are you, for the clients that you have, are you cash pay or insurance?
Cash pay.
Cash pay. And how do you get people to pay you cash without insurance?
If they see value in it and they need the help, then they're going to pay. And I've had a few people say no. And I remember I had 3 no's in a row, and I was like, what am I doing? But then, you don't think about the yeses that you already had, and then the yeses that you're about to get, which I did. So that happens, people are going to say no. And I think it's usually that they're not ready. They're not ready to invest in themselves. They're not ready to make that change, or they don't see the value in it just yet. They haven't experienced enough pain. I don't want to say pain, but they don't have a big why yet to get the help that they need. And once they do, I think then they're ready.
Yeah. And a lot of times a no isn't really a no, it's just a not right now. And so I don't know about you, Deb, maybe it's too early to tell, but I know for me personally, I've had people come back to me after 6 months, a year even, come back to me and say, hey, I know we talked a while ago, but I'm still really struggling and I'm ready now. Can we get started? And so, you know, that does happen. It does happen. And so what you said was so true about, you know, showing people that what we have is valuable and that it will really help them makes a huge difference. And that's exactly how we can get people to pay cash versus insurance, is to just show them the value, because people will drive through Starbucks every single morning, right? Because they see the value in how their coffee is going to wake them up for the day, you know, and so they're willing to pay $6-8 for a coffee every single day. You know how much that adds up to after a month, after 6 months, after a year, every day, right? And so if people see the value in something that we're able to provide, even if it is cash based, it's a no-brainer, right? It's really taking, hey, what's the number one problem that you have? I have the solution for that number one problem. You know, is this something that you really want solved? And if they say yes, then that's how you can really change lives. So Deb, thank you so much for sharing your story and sharing with everyone, like, where you came from, a little bit about, you know, how you got to this point. Because I know right before we hopped on, we were talking, you had this goal to hit 8K, or you were really, really close to hitting your goal. You're right there, but you got to 8K in the first 2 months of your business. So what would you say, you know, now knowing that, kind of looking back, what would you say was the main catalyst to really getting you to that point to where you were able to help 9 clients bring in 8K in just your first 2 months in business?
I think just going all in, you know, I think just setting your mind to you're doing this, there's no turning back. You can't be like half in, half out. I think you have to really be all in to do that. Yeah.
100%. I completely agree. Yeah. Even just mentally, because I know some of us in here work full-time jobs as well. And so we can still be all in, even if we have a full-time job. A lot of that all in feeling is right here, you know, and if we're 1 foot in, 1 foot out in our mind, we're not going to hit that goal. And I love that you set your goals so high, because then you're able to make better decisions, and you're able to act, make those better decisions, ask better questions. And so that gets you much closer to that goal. Some people dream to make 8K in their business in a year. You were able to do that in 2 months. What EHR do you use?
I use Practice Better.
And how do you like Practice Better?
I like it a lot. I think it's very user-friendly. I like it sends like reminders to my clients. I can chat with them right there. They have a food and mood journal that they get access to, and I can go in and review, and it's really cool. If I can see them making like a choice that's great, I can be like, great job. Or if I see them making a choice that maybe needs improvement, I can be like, hey, next time you do this, try changing it like in this way, you know? Yeah. And I can give them that live feedback as close to life as possible, you know?
Awesome. Yeah. Good to know. Thank you for sharing that. And, but just to kind of, you know, tie everything together here, Deb, what is some of the best advice that you have for dietitians who are wanting to start or even wanting to grow their own practice?
Definitely, I think, get the fear out of the way. You have to you can't let that stand in your way. You have to just kind of dive in the deep end, like I was saying earlier, just dive in the deep end and don't second guess yourself. Yeah, definitely don't second guess yourself, because I mean, we all do it, but I think that is the thing that holds us back the most, is that imposter syndrome, second guessing yourself. You know your worth, you know you can do it, you know you can go kick ass. So just do it and you'll succeed.
Yeah, that's awesome. Amazing advice. So good. Deb, thank you so much for sharing your words of wisdom with everyone. I know I learned a lot tonight. I know everyone else, I hope they got some good value, some good lessons out of this too. And to just dive in and go for it and know that those feelings of fear, imposter syndrome, that's normal. It's going to come up. We're all going to feel that way. I feel that way too. You feel that way. We all do. And so it's just going all in and knowing that we are passionate about this and that we're going to really get the most out of it if we just do it and take that step. So thank you so much, Deb, for coming in. I really do appreciate your time. I know you're busy with 4 kids and 9 clients, so I really do appreciate you coming in. Thank you again, Deb. I really do appreciate your time.
Thanks, Kaylee.
Yep. Keep crushing it, Deb. See ya.
Bye.
Hey, what's up? Thank you so much for watching the show. I know your time is super valuable, and I know that you're here to learn how to grow a successful practice. So I have something special just for you. If you are a health expert who is in business or aspiring to be, and you're curious about how to grow a profitable, impactful practice, you're going to want to pay attention. Because as a person who is watching the show, I want you to win. So I've created a bundle of resources exclusively for those who are watching the Practice Revolution. So if you are tired of trying to figure out this game of business, marketing, and sales all on your own, and you're ready to implement what's already proven to work rather than reinventing the wheel, you're going to want to send us a private message on Instagram at The Practice Revolution. And simply just let us know that you watched this show, and we'll personally hand over $7,000 worth of trainings, resources, and coaching that is available only for those who are watching this show on YouTube. So if you want to know how to increase your income, impact, and build a practice that works for the lifestyle that you want and that serves your family at the highest level, send us a private message on Instagram at The Practice Revolution. Do it now so you can win big in your practice and in your life. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next show.